I bought my first tractor, a Case IH Farmall 120C with a cab and a loader bucket. All right, let's work. It's the 2020 crop year. My name is Matthew Sliger. That's right, we're out in California planting rice by air. Welcome to the rice fields. Ride with me from planting to harvest. California rice, my friends. You're watching Rice Farming TV. But it's super windy out here, so let's head inside the cab. So what's with all these YouTube farmers buying their first tractors ever? Millennial Farmer bought a tractor.
This is my first tractor that Zach owns right here.
Cole the Corn Star bought a tractor.
This is the first tractor that I've bought myself.
Everybody's buying tractors.
I got my very first tractor.
So I thought I needed to make my video about the first tractor that I bought. And this Case IH Farmall 120C, well, this is actually Pops' first tractor that he bought this year. Don't be mad. We got a lot of stuff coming up in this episode. A ton of stuff. We're going to start this up. I'm going to recollect the first day that we used this. Oh, but let's listen to this engine purr. Pretty nice, huh? Here's the joystick for the loader bucket. Throttle. That's the sound of Case IH power at its finest. It's a 2018 model, 120 horsepower. We're going to be using it to do all sorts of fun things around the farm once we start groundwork. That's coming up shortly. In fact, this video is going to have several videos together. Hello and good morning on this foggy, frigid day. Today, we're planting corn. Today on the farm, I've got the most boring job, so I thought, hey, might as well record it. This little guy, you see? You guys excited? Because I think in a couple of days, by this week, we will officially be starting our groundwork. Now, but this is just a teaser of this tractor, okay? We're going to use it a lot during spring work. In fact, it's replacing our old Massey Ferguson front loader. Let's see if I can't just dig up some old footage of me using that tractor. So you see, what we use the Massey Ferguson for and what we'll eventually be using this Case IH Farmall for is building up the dirt on each side of our rice boxes so that we have plenty of dirt to shovel, as we'll be using the dirt to seal up our rice boxes to manage our irrigation water. That's all to come. But we have actually used this Farmall tractor already this year. It was actually one of the foggiest mornings on record. Pops used the Farmall in tandem with his old Case backhoe to first dig a ditch and then move over an intake riser. An intake riser is a cement mouth with a long plastic tube that we will use to allow water to flow out of our main farm ditch and into one of our rice fields. The old intake riser just got worn out, had holes, started leaking, so we're taking this free time now to replace it. Anyway, Pops lays the intake riser and pipe into the trench that he's dug with the backhoe. He then uses the backhoe's bucket to push the pipe extension onto the riser. And this is the part in the story where this bad boy gets to shine. Pops fills in the trench around the intake riser with the Case IH Farmall 120C, his brand new baby, and only he gets to drive it right now. That's why we haven't moved. He takes his time, enjoys his tractor, and does a real nice job. So if you enjoyed that Case Farmall tractor video footage, make sure to subscribe because I'll be driving it all through the spring, as I mentioned. Now, let's pop out of the cab, and I want to show you how we've got all our tractors set up for a couple of days when we start groundwork. Come on, we got to go in the wind, so bear with me. Congrats, Pops. You deserve it. Okay, now, rapid fire tractor tour with corresponding implements as we're gonna use them at the start of the spring planting groundwork 2020 crop year rice fields. Go! Case IH 245 hooked up to our yellow corn disc. We're gonna use that to fill in our drains. Fuel wagons to fuel up the tractors. Case 260 Magnum hooked up to a pole chisel for deep tillage. Case 340 Magnum hooked up to a 3-point chisel for deep tillage. 7240 hooked up to fan favorite the Ridger, or levee plow as someone pointed out. See, I listened to you guys in the comment section. Let's hop in the cab here. I want to tell you a little story. So some of you might be asking, Matthew, what were you doing while Pops was using his new Farmall tractor to dig the trench and lay the intake riser and pipe? Well, on that very, very foggy morning, I had the most boring job on the farm. Now come on over to the lean-to where we have our oldest tractor, the 7240. It's a 1995. I know what you're gonna say, 1995, it's not that old. Well, the tractor has 10,000 hours on it, and we still use it as an integral part of our operation. We use it to mow, we use it to ridge, as you saw last week. We also use it to pull a smaller disc. But back to ridging, I noticed while I was driving the tractor that AC kicked off. So what we're going to do is work on, I don't even know what it's called, so I'm going to show you. It's like a radiator for air conditioners. But check this out. We've taken the roof off the 7240. The Ridger, as you can see, is still hooked up. We've serviced it, greased it, cleaned out the disc blades. Because remember, we're still going to make 2 more passes along our levees to continue building them up. Right now, our work is up there, up on top. So, perfect time to be climbing on a tractor in the morning dewy mist. This thing's slick. Hello. So before we get started and I introduce you to our job, let me just give you kind of a tour around up here. That's a roof there. Under the lean-to here we have our Kloss Lexion 585R, and over there we have our Kloss Lexion 750, and further down there you can just see the unloading auger peeking out. We have our John Deere 9660 CTS, the 3 bad boys parked for the spring. So now, what are we going to be working on? That's what everybody wants to know, right? Well, I don't even know really what it's called, so let's just take a look and you'll tell me down in the comments section. Be nice to me. So it's this thing. This is like the AC radiator coil cooling unit. You can kind of see, yeah, that right there is an AC vent, you know, a vent that you'd open up in the cab right down there. So air would be cooled as it passes through here and then goes down through those vents over there and then cools the cab, cools the farmer. But it's not doing that. And one of the reasons we think is because look at how ugly these fins are. They're all mushed together, right? I've got a pocket knife and Pops has ordered me to straighten out those fins so that air can pass better through them and hopefully cool down the cab. I don't know if you can see way out there in the distance, but Pops is on the dozer. Probably can't see. He just passed by because we're putting in some new pipes, new intake pipes. So anyway, that's what I was doing on that record foggy day, in case you were wondering. But now, back to our equipment tour. Where were we? We did the 7240. Oh yeah. Our other Case 260 Magnum hooked up to our other 3-point chisel plow for deep tillage. Wait, what's that? Is that a show chisel? Is that a brand new chisel? Whoa, let's just take a moment to admire that. Oh yeah, green and black on red. Come on inside the 260, let's get out of the wind. So you remember to my first couple videos this crop year where we were working on our chisel plow, rotating the teeth and everything like that, checking for cracks, checking the hydraulic rams, really going through everything since these are the first implements we're going to use out in the field. Well, remember, one was in a mud puddle. Now we just got to get the teeth replaced on this yellow one, but it's right in the middle of a mud hole. And Pops wanted a special project this late winter to paint it. We got that last 3-point plow chisel hooked up and out of that mud pit, and we've taken off the chisel teeth. We're going to rotate them, but Pops has a special project for us. He wants to paint the frame, so we're going to hold off putting the teeth back onto the shanks until we do that. Thanks, Pops. Well, that's the 3-point chisel hooked up right behind me. And that's right, we took the time to primer a nice rusty red color. Pops even got in on the action. Looks good. And then we just painted the chisel springs and the chisel shanks black as they were attached onto the chisel plow already. We later removed all the chisel components so that we were left just with the bare frame. We touched up all the spots that we had missed and all the black overspray, and we came out with a really nice primered chisel frame. Also, we touched up with black all the chisel components, nice and neat. Then, of course, we started painting the old frame this beautiful John Deere green. Why John Deere green, you ask? Actually, I don't really have a good explanation as to why we painted it green. We should have painted it, I don't know, what do you guys think? I think the green's actually pretty nice. It's the most expensive green thing we own on the farm now. So, all you John Deere fans out there, send me a sticker and I'll put it on there. Whatever. Anyway, with a lot of hard work, I think it looks good. And now just look at it back there, shiny and pretty. And in a couple of days, we're gonna get it nice and dirty. That's what a real chisel plow should look like. Have a little dust on it. Now I got one more story for you. For that, we're gonna have to get out into the wind. Just one more quick look at the beautiful work that we did on that chisel plow. Nice combination. Yeehaw! All right, come on, let's go under the shed, under the lean-to, get out of the wind just for a second so I can set up this next story, okay? It actually takes kind of place back over by the 245 hooked up to the yellow corn disc. I'm calling it a corn disc now. Anyway, remember when I was disking up that knoll and I said, hey, it's gonna be our first field of corn that we're gonna plant ever. That's right, folks, look all around me. This grassy knoll is soon to be our first field of corn. Well, still super excited about that, and I've got an update on that. A lot of you said I couldn't do it. A lot of you said I wouldn't do it. A lot of you said, BS, Matthew, you're not planting any corn. Well, if you remember in last Monday's episode, planting corn with my buddy Brent in his John Deere 7230R, I think it was, you know, if you saw that episode, if not, link is down in the description, that I was given, snagged is kind of a derogatory term like I stole, no, I was given some corn seed to plant. Can I have these?
Yep, take it out.
So, guess what? I planted it. Today, we're planting corn. This little guy, you see? Come on, let's head over to the knoll that we worked up in that video titled Planting My First Field of Corn. Well, here it is. The ground is all worked up. A lot of you guys had some great suggestions on how to do it, recommending which planters I should use, what I'm gonna need to fertilize. Well, I got my planter right here. Rice Farmer arms, okay? And I got my seeder right here. This is my air seeder. I've got 8 seeds that I got from my buddy Brent because he's a real corn farmer. I'm just a rice farmer pretending to be a corn farmer, but I got some seeds from him, so we're gonna plant them, right? You're watching Corn Farming TV. My idea is to do exactly what Brent did and go about 2 inches deep. I'm just going to basically, I think, put this on the surface, okay? Work this dirt up quite nicely. So it's obviously not 2 inches deep yet, but it will be, just hold on. And then I'm gonna go about 6 inches apart, okay? Just like Brent did. Okay, get these weeds out of here. That's good. Another 6 inches. You get the idea, I think, right? Okay, now trying to get them about 2 inches deep with some nice loose topsoil. And after I was done with that first row, I thought, hey, why not keep going? Because a lot of people in the comments section of the video suggested that I plant sweet corn. So I went to the local hardware store and got some sweet corn and planted a second row. Got some footage of that. So we'll be checking out on my corn farming on Corn Farming TV in future episodes on the Rice Farming TV channel. I hope that's not confusing. Anyway, let's get out of the wind. Let's conclude this video. The reason why I was just all over the place in this video is because I know in a couple of days we're gonna start planting or preparing our ground for rice. I'm thinking about corn planting so much, but with rice, you gotta really prep the soil. A lot of people ask, hey, have you ever tried no-till rice? Last people that tried that, they called it no-tell. Because whenever you'd ask how the yields were, they wouldn't tell. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Rice Farming TV. We're gonna start groundwork, start the tractors in 2 days. I hope I can get tons of content for you while we're doing that. But as you can see out in the equipment yard, everything is hooked up to the necessary implement for us to get started. So hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video. Stick with me through the 2020 crop year. It'll be worth it because we got some baby corn out there. Pretty soon we're gonna have some baby rice out there. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Oh, what's up? What's up? John Deere like what?